We are
right.
live.
Yes, we are live. Um, we're just waiting for the Instagram to
Yes.
come alive.
Come
Uh,
alive, Instagram.
come on, come alive, Instagram.
Instagram.
Instagram bulls. All right, here
Okay,
we
there you
go.
go.
Right now we're live. All right. So,
Yay.
hey guys, good morning to YouTube, to Facebook, to Instagram.
Yes.
Um, Today is an amazing day because today is day number six
Six.
of our 90-day challenge. My
Yes.
name is Leejay,
And I'm Melissa.
and basically we are digital entrepreneurs for the last 4 years,
Yes.
and we're helping families, people around the globe, to start their digital business. We provide all the tools, right?
Yes. The
All the
training
training,
and the system
right?
and the coaching and mentorship
Right? Coaching and
to
mentorship.
get you
Sometimes
started.
it's easy to just say it, right? But there's actually a lot of value in coaching and mentorship.
Yes. Yeah.
In fact, I actually took a live coaching certification once,
Mm-hmm.
and people pay for that.
Yes.
People
Yeah.
pay for that coaching and mentorship.
Yeah.
But here it comes with the business, right? It comes
Yeah.
when
It makes
when
a big difference when you have somebody to hold hands with
right,
when
exactly.
you're starting something new
Uh-huh.
and you're just beginning with this new thing that you're doing,
Right.
right?
And the thing with it too is that when people around online, and they're looking for something that they can um, do, but they don't. Nobody's teaching them, right?
Yes.
We have an entire program, that is designed for a step-by-step process for those people.
Yeah.
So, and
And it's an easy enough program
mhm,
that even as young as 19-year-old can do it, and as senior
a
as
senior as
an
81 years old
81-year-old can
can
do
do
it
it, right?
too. So it's amazing how in different walks of life, wherever you are
Mm,
in your life journey,
that's right.
you can do this online business.
That's right. And I think. Um, oh, hang on. I think somebody answered a phone call on my iPhone. Just a sec.
Okay, we're gonna share this in Facebook.
There you go.
Oh,
Um,
I forgot to tag you.
no, false alarm. Anyways, guys, today's episode, we're talking about the importance of morning routine, um,
Yes.
and its impact. Before we
Yes.
actually went for live, I asked Mel, we were reviewing what's the topic today, and then
Yes.
Mel's like, "Oh my gosh,
Oh my
this is
gosh, I
going."
don't have a morning routine. Now I'm gonna have to come up one.
um, but I've had, on the other hand, I've had morning routines for the last, I don't know, many years, right? So maybe I'll start for morning
Yeah,
routine.
maybe you'll give me some ideas, right?
Right.
And maybe I'll start a morning routine tomorrow, right? Tomorrow
um,
morning.
but the thing is, Mel actually is
A
you're a
night
night
person.
owl,
Yeah.
right? So a night owl.
Yes.
I've always been a morning person, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I have a morning routine. So actually, my day starts. My alarm clock actually goes on at 3:55 a.m.
Yes.
3:55 a.m. and my day starts at 4 o'clock. So usually, I brush my teeth, I wash my face in that about 5 minutes, right? And then about you know uh, 10 15 minutes after 4 in the morning, that's where I do my prayers. um,
Yes.
I I follow a specific routine, and it's from the Miracle Morning platform, and it's
Hmm.
called Savers, right?
Yes. Who wrote the Miracle Morning?
Hal Elrod,
How Elrod.
Hal
Yes.
Elrod, Miracles Morning, and it actually changed my life, for all the good things. So what happened is, during the Savers, there's Savers stands for S for silence, A for affirmation, V for visualization,
Yes.
E for exercise, R for reading, and S for scribing, right? So writing on your journal.
Hmm.
I wish I could bring my journal upstairs, but my journal is pretty
It's
thick, you
so
guys. It's
thick,
so thick.
guys.
Yeah. So there's a ton of nuggets in there.
Yeah.
Um, but the way it works for savers is that the promise, not promise, but the benefit of conquering the day before 8 a.m. Okay. So I do my miracle morning for about an hour, 1 hour. So about 5 minutes for silence, just being silent with your head, right? Just
In
silent
prayer.
in
Yeah.
prayer. Um, yeah, most of the time I pray actually during the first 5 minutes of the miracle morning. The second 5 minutes is affirmation, right? So,
Hmm.
there is a particular affirmation chant that I have, right? To kind of like pump myself up for
Yeah.
the morning.
Yeah.
It's
What's affirmation?
affirm,
For other
yeah,
people
for
who doesn't know
what
what
affirmation
affirmation
is.
is.
Affirmation is saying, um, affirming something, right? A
Yeah.
belief in yourself, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, an affirmation could be something like, I am healthy, right?
Hmm.
I am rich. I am
Yes.
powerful. I am confident, right? It's the word I am and then
Hmm.
whatever's next with it, right? So that's an
Yes.
affirmation.
Yes.
So when you say, I am lovable, I am joyful, I am
Yes.
courageous, right?
Yes. I
And
am loved.
I am loved, right?
Yeah.
So,
My husband loved me.
of course. uh, so these are all affirmation.
Yeah.
And, there is a specific recorded affirmation that I have on YouTube, right? That
Yes.
I listen
Yes. He
every
actually
day.
does, guys. I have listened to it as well while he was
Mm.
listening to it.
It will
So
give you goosebumps, by the way, when you listen to
yeah.
this kind of
Yeah,
stuff,
it's
right?
his voice. It's his actual voice,
Yeah.
recorded voice of
Yeah.
him affirming.
Certain things, right?
Hmm.
And then after affirmation, that's about 5 minutes. There's visualization process, and for
Yeah.
those of you who don't know what visualization is, it's more of visualizing the day of what's going to happen, visualizing the month, the year, the visualizing the dreams and hopes, right?
Yeah.
Of 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 life, right? Of my life,
Hmm.
and along with the visualization process comes with the gratitude practice as well, being grateful that it's already done. So
Yes.
sometimes it's funny because when I pray for somebody, when somebody asks me, Leejay, can you pray for me or pray for this particular result, I use visualization a lot.
Yeah.
And when I use it, I already affirm and being thankful of
That it
that,
already
that
happened.
it already happened.
Hmm.
And the cool thing about visualization is that um, your subconscious mind does not know if it's a present moment or
Or
or a future moment or a what you call this
past.
past.
Yeah.
So it just knows that that's
That is the truth.
that is the truth,
Yeah.
right? So when you hold that truth in your mind for visualizing what you really want, it gets embedded into the subconscious, and
Yes.
therefore when you
Your
reinforce
feelings.
it
Yeah.
with gratitude,
Hmm.
you feel grateful about it.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the most amazing
There's a
feelings.
sudden feel of happiness, right?
Yes,
Because it felt like it actually happened.
it felt, yeah, exactly. So it's kind of weird because most of the time the prayers that I pray for actually happens, right? And
Yes.
they get answered
Yes.
with that visualization process.
Yes. And that's the thing with Leejay. Because ever since I've known him,
Mm.
I've always thought that he's the guy who gets what he wants.
I know it's
Yeah,
weird,
when
but
he wants something,
yeah,
he gets it.
I know for some people
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, you're lucky, right?
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
definition of it, right? You're lucky. But there's actually a method to it, guys, right? There's a
Yeah.
method to the visualization process, to the affirmation, to
Hmm.
prayers, right? Meditating, praying, and having that strong connection with God. And I think
Hmm.
that's one of the keys. It's very easy to say it right now. It's very easy
Yes.
to just,
To
um,
just
describe it,
yeah.
right? But to actually do it, it takes a lot of
Yeah.
effort, takes a lot of discipline, takes a
Yes.
lot of mental fortitude in order
Yeah.
to do this. The other thing that I do is after the visualization, so that's 15 minutes already. 5 minutes for silence or prayers,
Yeah.
5 minutes for affirmation,
Yes.
5 minutes for visualization, right?
Hmm.
Um, the next one would be exercise, but I usually do that in the end, right? And I put in about 30 minutes on exercise. Okay,
Yeah.
so very, very important. Lately, I haven't been exercising a lot just because I've been sick for the last two
2 weeks.
weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I
You
haven't
can
been,
tell with his voice. He's
yeah, I've been
still
coughing a lot.
yeah.
And my work never really stopped, right? So
Hmm.
I've always, I always talk to people left and right, right? From work or from business, from whoever, right? So I'm always on the phone. I'm always talking to people,
Yeah.
and then I cough, right?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
all of our kids got sick also past 2 weeks,
Yeah.
right? So I haven't been exercising, but I do exercise, right? I do have a gym at home.
Yes. Yeah. He
We are
built
so
his own gym and he's
yeah,
really
we're so
excited.
happy to have that gym. Um,
Yeah.
so exercise, but after exercise usually comes reading, and I put about 10 minutes on reading. And
And what are you reading now?
right now I'm reading a book called Grit
Oh.
by Duckworth, Jennifer Duckworth, I think. um, and in that book I can tell you all
Hmm.
about this particular book and what grit really is, and why is it so important for successful people.
Yeah.
And Duckworth is actually um, a psychologist, right, from New York.
Hmm.
And there's a ton of things that I can say about it. But
Yeah.
reading is such an important aspect of me, even though I'm exercising. For example,
Hmm.
I'm on my elliptical or I'm walking, right? During the
Yeah.
summer, I walk a lot in the morning, right?
Hmm.
And I love that feeling at the crack of dawn to actually have walking, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes I run, depending on my mood,
Yeah.
right? But most of the time I walk, right?
Yeah.
Um, so reading for 10 minutes, and
Hmm.
then lastly is scribing for 5 minutes. So
Hmm.
that alone is 1 hour,
Yeah.
right? So by the time I finish all of that, the Savers method,
Yeah.
uh, 1 hour has already been passed,
Yeah.
right? And then
Describing is like
scribing
journaling,
is
right?
journaling, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys see my journal, it's like very, very thick, like this, right?
And sometimes I sneak in and be like,
And
"What
read.
did Leejay write?"
Yeah,
No, I don't.
mostly what I write there is things that I'm grateful for, things
Yeah.
that I'm hoping for, my vision, my goal. uh, Somebody told me that if you write a goal, it's already 50% done,
Done.
right? So
Yeah.
and I truly believe that. So when I do this practice, I feel like the day is already done, right? So you put in 1 hour on the most important things in your life. And sometimes
Yes.
it's very um, it's it's
It's
uh,
easy
it's
to
easy to just
ignore.
forget
Yeah.
or ignore about the important things in your life, but these are the important things in your life, right? God,
Yeah.
prayer, um, not
Organizing.
organizing your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts, right? um, you know Visualizing, right, what you want to
Mm-hmm.
do in your life, right?
Yeah.
um, and exercising, right, for your health,
Yeah.
right, and then writing it down, right? I might not be able to do a video like this or a podcast,
Yeah.
but some of the most important ideas and thoughts, right, is actually written down on that book,
Yeah.
right? And it's a pretty thick book, guys.
Yeah.
There's a ton of ideas. There's business ideas,
Yeah.
personal development ideas.
Yes.
It's all written in that. And I always say I really want to finish my book, um, and maybe publish it, right, and then share with you, the journey of
Yeah.
of us, right, of a
Yeah.
family here.
Yeah.
So
How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing it for, I would say, 5 years now, ever since we moved
We
in this
moved into
house.
this house. Yes.
Yes, there are times where um, I didn't wake up at 4 o'clock. That's fine, but there's always
Yeah.
this morning routine that I have, right? I might
Mm-hmm.
not finish all of the savers, right? There are times that I don't exercise. There are times that I don't actually write on my journal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I always pray, right? I
Yeah.
always have that gratitude moment, that
Mm-hmm.
affirmation moment, visualization process,
Yeah.
because those are the important
Yeah.
part of life, right?
Yeah.
Of your morning.
And it's really nice to have a system, right? Even though there are some days that it's hard to follow that system, knowing that you have a system in the morning, it's actually, I think it's very nice to have. I'm not a morning person. And usually my morning routine is being woken up by Leejay.
That's your
I
morning.
don't set my alarm because Leejay is my alarm.
That's
He
funny.
wakes me up around 7ish,
Yeah.
7:30ish. When he's done with the kids, he prepares the breakfast, guys.
Yeah,
And
so actually, I'm not done yet from that morning routine.
okay, there's more.
So the first hour is miracle morning, right? And I
Yes.
just explained an entire process of miracle morning.
Hmm.
And then between 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock,
Yeah.
I actually do business. So whatever
Hmm.
project I'm working on, um, whether or not it's a marketing project, or lately for the past 1 year, I've actually taken a project of building an entire employment agency,
Yeah.
right? So I work with that kind of project. So I look at different studies, I read different statistics, I
Hmm.
read methods, right, of actually um, how to actually process these things, right?
Yeah.
I look at it at the business standpoint in terms of um, future revenues and the services they provide, and the vendors that we actually need to use, etc. There's a huge thing, and it's a can of worms when I open it up, right? Um,
Yeah.
but after that, it's about 7 o'clock, right?
Hmm.
So sometimes I work with you know lately I've been studying on how to create funnels, for example, for marketing.
Hmm.
And a lot of that actually happens there, like training, development, professional development happens between 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., right? And
Yes.
then by 7
7.
a.m. I prepare the breakfast, right? So, and kids lunch, school lunch. So,
Hmm.
there's different kinds of breakfast and that I prepare. And I already just stick to what works, right? So usually
Yeah.
it's one day it's pancakes, next day it's cereal, following day it's sausage
Hmm.
and waffles, and then or sometimes toasted bread
Yes.
with a shake, right, like
Yes.
Vitamix shake.
Yes.
And then sometimes I cook bread and eggs, so I like
Yeah.
French toast, right? So
French toast.
French toast,
Yes.
what is this other? Oh, oats as well, right?
Oats.
So
Yeah.
Nutella and oats and some fruits in it.
Yeah.
So I already have a menu in the morning, and I know exactly I can prepare that for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then I have the kids, and then I wake up the kids at 7:15, and usually the
Hmm.
kids will take about 15 minutes to wake up, right? So I go
Yes.
back and forth. While within that 15 minutes, also I'm preparing the lunch,
Yeah.
and lunches are also there's also a menu for it, right?
Yeah.
So usually it's dumplings or burgers or
Yes.
hot dogs or
Yeah.
rice and meat, something meat or
Yeah.
something stew, um,
Pizza. Yeah.
pizza, uh, grilled cheese, or something very simple, shopao, right?
Yeah.
Like this
Shopao. They love the shopao.
shopao buns, right?
Buns.
Um, what else is his favorite? Oh, chicken wings,
Chicken
right?
wings. Yes.
Chicken
Yeah.
strips, right?
Yeah.
So there's already a menu for that. So when I cook it, it literally just takes 15 minutes, 20 minutes,
Yeah.
and then I prepare everything. I got their water, their snacks. Even the snacks is strategic, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure that there's portioning with their snacks. And
Yes.
the way it works is when I go to Costco, I want to make sure that I have like the small packet snacks, and all you got to do really is to just grab it, right?
Yeah.
Usually they have like three or four kinds of snack.
Hmm.
Something savory, something sweet, something
It's
healthy,
salty.
salty, right?
Yeah.
So and sometimes I get little bags.
Yeah.
So I buy one of these huge uh,
Uh,
chips,
yeah.
right,
Package. Yeah.
packages, right,
Hmm.
and then I divide it, right. I divide it with little packet, and that's what I bring put the kids on, right. And then
Yes.
by the time 7:30, the kids are already awake, and um, that's the time that I get them ready for school, right? So I want to make sure that they
Hmm.
eat, they take their vitamins. I take my medications as well,
Hmm.
and then I send them to
And
school, right? So by 8 o'clock, they're already in the school, right?
yes.
And then at this
Yeah.
time, Mel is probably
Yeah,
awake,
and that's
right?
the time when I'm waking up.
Between
That's when
7:30
Leejay
to 8.
wakes me up.
Yeah. Uh, so it's
And
between
then
7:30 to 8. Hang on. I think
yes, and that's when we start our breakfast. We do our breakfast together. And DJ cooks the breakfast, the egg and the bread, toasts the bread, makes coffee and tea for me. And then that's when we start sitting down on the table and then have breakfast together.
That's right.
Yeah.
And usually, what happens is this time is also business, right? So between eight
Yeah.
o'clock to 9 o'clock, we usually talk about, or maybe I'm finishing up,
Updates. Yeah.
something, right? My
Yeah.
work.
Hmm.
So 8 o'clock to about 9 o'clock, it's still work, right?
Yes.
Updates and
Yeah.
the different things that we do, and then by nine
Hmm.
9 o'clock, I usually get ready to go to work, right?
Yes.
So I'm usually in my office at 9:30 or 10 o'clock most of the time,
Hmm.
and then I leave the office about 6, right?
Yes.
Um, 5:30 to 6 depending,
Yes.
and then I'm back home. I guess that's not the morning routine, that's my entire routine
Yeah,
now.
that's your whole day
That's
routine.
my whole day, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, very very busy, always busy,
Yeah.
and but we love it, right? Been doing this for the last 5 years, I guess,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
That's right. Yeah, and you pretty much touch on my morning routine.
Now's morning routine
It's
usually
pretty
is
laid back.
very laid back. I wake her up, and
Yeah.
then she goes straight to work. Right? No, usually
Work.
takes care of Amelia too, right?
Yeah.
So it's,
And then I go sit down on my desk
mm,
and work on my laptop. I do some online business postings, and majority of the time I'm studying
yeah.
the accounting stuff. And then by 10:30, that's when Amelia wakes up,
Hmm.
and then I give Amelia a bottle of milk, and then I give her breakfast,
That's right.
and that's pretty much it. And then I
Yeah.
play around with Amelia for the rest of the day. Sometimes we go out or we play at home and watch Frozen.
Mm,
Amelia loves Frozen. She acts like Elsa when
hmm.
there's the Let It Go
Part.
music, Let It Go part where Elsa sings Let It Go,
Mm.
right? And she acts like Elsa and turns around and then,
Right.
twirls.
So, the importance morning routine and its impact. The impact of this really is more of uh, a personal development, right? Because it's more. I couldn't do the things that I'm doing right now without this routine.
Yeah.
And recently, Mel finished an entire diploma program. I
Mhm.
finished an entire diploma program,
Mhm.
and we are both building businesses together.
Mhm.
Um, you know, and then we have 3 kids, right? So
Yes.
people ask, how do you do it, right? Part of it is a ton of discipline
Mhm.
of because the thing with me too is that when I didn't do my morning routine, or if I didn't wake up at 4 o'clock,
Mhm.
I will be behind, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be a
On a
ton
lot
of,
of things.
and I'll
Yeah.
be stressed, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
um, and there's a ton of things that I'm doing. There's a ton of moving components,
Yeah.
and that's probably why you know we haven't done a lot with our online business, in terms of delivering value and content to you guys. um, because there are months, not even weeks, right, or
Mhm.
days, but months that I'm behind, right? I'm behind of the things that I promised to do.
Mhm.
And when that happens, it's kind of like a snowball effect. And next thing you know, I have this huge giant,
Things to do
yeah,
that
mess, right?
that needs to get
That needs to
done.
get done.
Yeah.
So you know morning routines can actually make or break the things that you're building, because if you don't have a morning routine, if I don't have a morning routine, and I don't, or even if I don't follow that,
Mhm.
it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
Whatever I'm building right now, it doesn't happen.
Mhm.
And and I owe it a lot to this routine,
Mhm.
so that I'm able to do the things that I really want to do, right?
Mhm.
During the summertime, I am really good at it during the summertime, actually. Winter not so much, right? Because it's cozy, it's
Yeah.
cold, you want to, and it's dark outside, so it's
Yeah,
like,
you wanna stay in
yeah, it's
and
always it's always nighttime during the winter. But during the
yeah.
summer, right, usually uh, there's sunlight already at 5 in the
Mhm.
morning, right? So it's a perfect time to walk, right?
Yeah.
During the sunrise. And then at nighttime, even, right, it's tough because I need to go to bed at around 10 o'clock,
Mhm.
right? um, so I have to, about 6 hours of sleep. But
Mhm.
lately, the kids have been sick,
Yeah.
so I have to wake up at 1 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, at 3 o'clock.
Yes.
By the time that my alarm clock actually rings,
Mhm.
that's already 3 o'clock, 3:30,
Yeah.
or sorry, at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
and and I only have like 1 hour, 2 hours of sleep,
Mhm.
right? And it's not healthy. So sometimes on the weekend, I would say no to people that are inviting us because I want to take rest, right?
Mhm.
I want to recuperate. It was nice because we recently had an extra long weekend. I was off on Friday, on Monday,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
it's nice. I actually had a time to recover, and and do it again, right? I'm excited for summertime because this is our perfect time to get out.
Yeah. What's happening?
Let's go.
Oh, let's go.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go soon.
Let's go.
Or anything. Yeah, for those of you who are just checking us out, I know some of you are reaching out, to start the
Oh, yeah.
business as
Oh,
well. And if you
ghost.
guys are interested,
Ghost.
feel free to message me, right?
Yeah.
And I'll send you that information package. Um, and in that webinar, actually, when we send you that, it's about 90 minutes long, and we encourage you to finish the entire thing, right? We
Yes.
encourage you to go back to some of the posts that we have here, some of the live sessions that we have here, that can also reinforce some of those concepts that's being discussed during the webinar.
Yeah.
And um, and when that happens, when you're really ready, we say, you know what, I'm ready, right? We can schedule a time to sit down and actually discuss this and how to get started, right? And get your
Mhm.
training unlocked, and get your modules unlocked so that you can finally run the business, right?
Mhm.
From the moment you watch the webinar to the moment you are setting up your business, we're going to be there, right?
Yeah.
There's a ton of things to do in this business in terms of setting it up,
Yeah.
from the websites to the Facebook page to the wordings, how to
Mhm.
actually be safe online, right?
Yes.
Those courses alone are worth thousands and thousands of dollars, you guys. I mean,
Yeah.
you know I've seen courses that are worth 2,000, 3,000, and it's just a course, right? There's no
Mhm.
product, there's no service that they're gonna give you, right?
Yeah.
It's just a course.
Yeah.
And our system, right, have tons of courses. when you go to Udemy or some of these online course material, they sell their course, say for example Facebook advertising course, right?
Mhm.
That's already $250, $500, sometimes $1,000.
Yeah.
Or if you have like a YouTube
YouTube.
advertising course, right? That's
Mhm.
another $1,000, right? That you need to spend.
Yeah.
Um,
LinkedIn,
LinkedIn advertising
TikTok,
course, right?
and
TikTok,
Instagram.
right?
Yeah.
And you
It
get,
can add up.
it can add
It can
up,
add
right?
up.
So I'm looking at the course and the masterminds. The masterminds are actually priceless. I mean, if
Yeah.
I were to put price on the mastermind, the
Mhm.
people that actually go to that mastermind session, they already know what they're talking, right? So they are experts in their own field. And
Mhm.
so what happens is that when on these experts can actually charge a ton of money, and I know that because I'm a consultant. And
Yes.
when I consult with people, like before giving the information, they usually pay money, right, to
Mhm.
give that information. So when I'm looking at all the values that training program has, it's
Mhm.
probably close to what, $250,000, right, when you
Yeah.
add it all up, right?
Yeah.
And
Plus the coach and the mentor that you're gonna have,
mhm.
that you have access to anytime, that you can message the coaches, the mentors,
Mhm.
I
Coaching
think
program, that's,
that
yeah,
means a
priceless.
lot.
Now here's the
Yeah.
thing, guys. I've actually created a coaching program in the past, and it's an entire coaching program in terms of accountability, courses that you're gonna
Mhm.
take, like the price, right? How long should we talk? It's an accountability, business and life coaching program.
Mhm.
And at that time, uh, you know I was pricing it at around $5,000, right?
Mhm.
And there's a ton. And because I also look for coaches, I want people to coach me, right? And this was about 5 years ago. And again, you have to pay online for a person to coach you.
Yeah.
uh, they can range between 2,000 to all the way
Five
to 5,000,
thousand,
$10,000
ten
per
thousand.
month, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Bob Proctor's mentorship is 30,000.
Bob Proctor's mentorship
Tony
program,
Robbins,
Tony Robbins
thirty
mentorship program, thirty
thousand.
thousand dollars, right?
Grant Cardone,
Grant
25,000.
Cardone, that's right, 25,000. Ty
Yeah.
Lopez, right?
Yeah.
$50,000, right? So, guys, when you start a business like this, it's an amazing opportunity that they've all packaged that in for you guys, right? For people
Mhm.
that are coming in, and I cannot stress it enough because on the business that I'm building with right now, the executives and I were thinking of a of franchising it out, right? Now if you
Mhm.
look at franchising models, and I've been studying this for quite some time now,
Mhm.
like say for example McDonald's or Subway or Tim Hortons, Burger King, Wendy's, whatever, right? Any of these restaurants, um, franchising model is um, it's a monster, right? Meaning,
Yeah.
in order to have a franchise, you need to have cash, you need to have money,
Yeah.
right? Um, and some people can get away with OPM, right? OPM stands for other people's money, right?
Mhm.
With franchising, but not a lot. In fact,
Mhm.
people that I know of that has franchises, um, they they were already good in other businesses or in their jobs, right? So some of them work in oil and gas.
Mhm.
They make a ton of money at their 9 to 5 jobs, engineers,
Mhm.
possibly doctors, lawyers, and they
Yeah.
have this cash that they can invest, right? But most people don't have that, right? Most people don't have
Mhm.
$1 million sitting around in their
Mhm.
bank account to get invested or to invest in a McDonald's franchise, right?
Yeah.
Or $500,000 to start a new, I don't know,
Business.
business, right? Like a brick and
Yeah.
mortar business.
Mhm.
So really, that particular marketplace is only reserved to specific
Specific people.
people, specific demographic. Now, what about the people, the regular people like you and I, right?
Yeah.
Like the person that's been working for the last 10 years for 3 jobs,
Mhm.
2 jobs, right? They have a little bit of savings, they have a little bit of money to invest, but not big enough to invest into that kind of business, right?
Yeah.
And ROI, return on investment, on this kind of investment is ridiculous. It takes, years to minimum, a McDonald's franchise, minimum 4 years to actually get your returns.
Yeah, and you have to be physically working in there,
That's right.
right? And you have to hire people to work in that.
Mhm. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that this kind of model is not for you or is not for people, but
But
certainly not for everyone, right?
yeah.
Like what I said, there's always going to be a specific market for that kind of investment. Now, if you are thinking of starting a business, if you're a professional right now, and you are, and you have some extra income that that you can invest, um, you know, take a look at this particular business model. And I think, that's one of the things I'm very, the messaging is not clear enough in some of you guys that it is doable, right? And with all the things that I've said already in terms of the coaching and the training and the product and all the things that you need to get started is already here. Okay.
Yes.
I know our topic went a little
Well,
sideways in terms of business, but hey,
yeah.
this page is for that, okay?
Yes.
For helping you guys jumpstart. Um, so that's it
Yeah,
for
that's
this
everything.
live. Drop down a comment below where you're watching from, and
Yes.
hopefully to
Yeah.
connect with you soon. Check out Leejay and Melissa.com, right?
Yeah.
For more information, like what I said, just message me. I'll give you some time, and we'll see you guys on the flip side.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.
Take care. Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye
Bye.
bye.